Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. It's apparently National Cooking Day, Tony. Do you like to cook?
Tony Kornheiser, no, but I've been told that I sizzle.
Okay then, all righty. Aren't you like one of those people who thinks you're a grill master? Aren't you a grill guy?
I do, yes. I actually grill a lot. I enjoy grilling a lot. My son makes fun of me because I do it by timing. You know, I asked for a 5-minute timer at some point. He says that's not the way you do it, but I do it that way. And I do like to grill. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Guardians take over the AL Central. The Ryder Cup tees off tomorrow, and Booger McFarland joins us to break down a big weekend in college football. But we begin today with Cal Raleigh hitting 2 more home runs last night, numbers 59 and 60, as Seattle beat Colorado to clinch the American League West, their first division title since 2001. At Yankee Stadium, Aaron Judge also hit 2 home runs, numbers 50 and 51, and went 3 for 4 to raise his batting average to a major league leading .328. The Yankees beat the White Sox to claim a tie with Toronto for first place in the American League East. Wilbon, let us start with Raleigh. What sort of achievement is it, him hitting 60 home runs?
Truly historic. And I'm using that word with some sense as an old person with a sense of history, real history. Not combining 8 things to say, he's the first person to do this since, 2016. No, he's the 7th person to do it, and that's if you include Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds, the 7th guy to hit 60. The others being Ruth, Maris, and Judge. That's the list in 150 years of Major League Baseball. And he's the only guy on that list to be a catcher who has the hardest duty on the field day in, day out, the only catcher. So he's surpassed in a lot of ways Berra and Campanella and Bench, and those the names that come to my mind as somebody who's followed baseball all my life. So Tony, when you consider those 2 things, catcher, switch hitter, and 60, it truly historic.
So let me get to this because I want to emphasize what you're talking about, the fact that he plays catcher. I cannot explain enough the physical wear and tear, the grueling day after day of being a catcher in the major leagues. And so you think that when it comes to September, there's not enough left for any offense. Raleigh now has 10 home runs in September. This is the 11th time this season that he hit 2 multiple home runs in 1 game. In the last 9 games he's played, he has 7 home runs. Let me back up a little bit. We've been in the lively ball era for over 100 years. The record for home runs in 100 years for a catcher was 48. This guy's got 60. He didn't break the record. He jumped like Bob Beamon on this record. And let me get to Judge, because 51 home runs for Judge seems meager next to Raleigh.
4 times.
But
4 times.
I'm going to go for a while, but Judge is now 4 times. There's only 3 people in Major League history who went 4 times 50. And that's Ruth and McGuire and Sosa. And you know I'm getting rid of McGuire and Sosa for obvious reasons.
I know.
Since September 11th, Aaron Judge is batting like .439. He's got 7 home runs. His OPS is 1.572. That's ungodly. And the Yankees have been 10-3 there, and like Seattle, have bounced up to the top of their division. I believe have 3 more wins than Seattle has. So it's still, I would vote for Raleigh for MVP, but it's still going to be really tight. I think it's going to be tight.
I love Judge, Tony. I love Judge. No, Judge not catching. Judge, because of injury, couldn't even play his normal position in the outfield a lot. He had a DH some this summer.
I understand that.
Raleigh. It's Raleigh, and Raleigh.
60 in our lives, at our age, 60 is magic.
Means something.
Let's stay with baseball, and let's move over to your Midwestern teams. Last night, Cleveland again beat Detroit, this time 5-1. Cleveland is now 1 game clear of the Tigers in the American League Central. It's the first time in 175 days the Tigers are not in first place. Wilbon, what is the more compelling aspect of this, the Guardians' rise or the Tigers' fall?
Tony, they both are in their own way. Either answer can be true, but for me, first, it's Cleveland. I mean, this is a team where management was essentially, selling off stuff at the trade deadline, and it looked like it was okay. we're punting on this season. We'll add some pieces. We'll be better. We still have, some nice pieces around. But no, they didn't just give up. They didn't punt. The players on the field did not do that. And to have that pitching, to have that starting pitching this many games in a row, that too, less historic, but still, Tony, it's just not done. I mean, starting pitching we know is very vulnerable around Major League Baseball all the time, essentially. So to get that consistency of starting pitching night after night after night to get back in this race and win 17 and 19, for me, it's Cleveland.
What Cleveland is doing right now, after the All-Star break and selling some things off, that's what Detroit did last year, and Detroit made the playoffs. Mike, if I were still writing a sports column, my column would be the Tigers. Because you know that I believe that a losing locker room is always more interesting than a winning locker room.
Usually.
The Tigers have they have lost 8 in a row. They have lost 11 of 12. And in the last 2 games, they lost with first place directly on the line to the team that was chasing them.
Yeah.
They have now gone 0-5 against Cleveland in the last 8 days. Mike, this is a biblical collapse. This is the 1964 Phillies, and here is a quote from A.J. Hinch. It's painful. I'm having a hard time coming up with words, but what I'm seeing out of our team is not normal, but it's our reality, unquote. The Tigers right now, in the last 12 games, they've only scored 28 runs. That's 2.3 runs again. That's not enough. In their last 7 games, only once have they gone over 2 runs scored. This is like a contagion in the clubhouse. This is like some sort of virus. I don't want to give short shrift to Cleveland. Detroit's not just losing these games. Somebody has to beat them. But Cleveland's only beaten them 5 out of the 17 out of 19 Cleveland has won. Cleveland's been great, Mike. I'm just saying I think the more heart-wrenching thing is the Tigers.
Wrenching. I feel bad for the Tigers, Tony. The other night when Skubal got knocked around by 3 batted balls, which went a total of about 40 feet, it was sort of, symbolic of what's going on with Detroit since when they started giving up that 15.5 game lead. They're both compelling stories. Let's celebrate Cleveland a little bit. Not often we do that. The Ryder Cup competition, Tony, starts tomorrow at Bethpage Black on Long Island, where Team USA has home course advantage in its bid to regain the cup that belongs to Team Europe. Tone, bettors are giving the United States the edge. Are you?
By the way, I got the Bethpage Black sign right behind me on the set here. That is from the Black course there. I understand why the United States is favored, because it is the home course, and in the Ryder Cup, the home course often is the most important thing. They have the #1 player in the world in Scottie Scheffler. They have 7 of the top 10. But I don't think they have a particular advantage at Bethpage. I mean, I really don't. Bethpage has been used for a major here or there, and the European players play it as well. Other than John Rahm, almost everybody in the European team is on the PGA Tour, so they play the same courses as the Americans. They play against and with the Americans. The Americans have 4 rookies, Ryder Cup rookies. Europeans only have 1. The Europeans have won a bunch of majors, just like the Americans. You got McIlroy, Lowry, Rose, Rahm, your boy Fitzpatrick. They've come close in a lot of majors. Fleetwood, Hatton, McIntyre, Oberg, Straka, I don't want to mispronounce his name. So to me right now, if you just look at this on paper, I think the Europeans have a small edge.
I think the European team is better on paper, period. Tony, you mentioned how they play these courses and they play with the Americans and against them. They live in America. I bet you there might be 2 guys who don't make some place in the United States home part or most or all of the year. So I mean, let's get rid of that. I look at this. Look, even when on paper we think the U.S. team is stronger, we often lose because there's something about team competition that just sits well with the European side. Time after time after time, the European team has won twice on the road in the United States.
2012 in Chicago and Medina.
I was there at that.
At Oakland Hills in Michigan, yes, twice. Yeah,
It doesn't scare them. They love team competition. They seem to bond. They know they have an advantage there, even if it doesn't exist maybe in Sunday on singles.